Alright guys, today we're doing another episode of Iwicso. What the hell the trailer still on? Alright, let's see what's happening in Greece. The king of Liechtenstein wants to revive the Liechtenstein Empire. After all, most countries descend from the Liechtensteinian Empire vaguely. So he wants to kind of use it as an excuse. He starts by taking over this part of the Dutch German country. In order to solidify his dominance over her. To solidify his dominance over former Liechtensteinian countries. Because he was taught Liechtenstein was the giver of civilization to everywhere else. Everywhere else you had no people. They did have people, they weren't really that civilized according to them. So, they simply just conquer. They say they're not inferior, they're just uncivilized, but still equal in a sense. Saying that they believe the only real difference is if you're the king or a pope, or the poor. They believe the king is basically a god right now. This is the Bronze Age. Now after this, they decided to declare war on the Germans. This conquest is actually leaving. Because this conquest may not even last that long. They took the capital, they captured the king. Well, off the boo, Germany is now Liechtenstein. After this, he names himself the Conqueror. As his name was originally Alquetus. Alquetwolf. However, he didn't like that name. So he quit the Conqueror. Now, to him, the Danish were barely Liechtensteinian, meaning they're not Liechtensteinian, which is what countries like Russia, Poland, this country, Greece, basically this side of the world is, and even argued these are somewhat Liechtensteinian enough. But he knows he's not going to conquer that, so he wants to make it stable. And that's why our sponsor today. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I don't make money off this. This is for the love of the game. So he conquers France, but here's the thing. France was already unstable. That was just a straw to break the camel's back. So we have Britain declaring independence. You have the interior declaring independence. There's all of these kingdoms forming. This one has all the cities, and decides to reform France in their own image. with some land being anarchy. The anarchy was eventually taken over, but they still lost the war eventually after the trade routes were closed off. That's when you have so much control. Closing off trade routes is easy. And if they can help you win a war, might as well do it. Meanwhile, the Britons immediately take over Normandy and begin to establish themselves as France, as true France. Liechtenstein asked Sword and said, "You're becoming our puppet." Which Liechtenstein they accepted, as they knew they'd die otherwise. But this all will end someday. Meanwhile, the Liechtensteins has paid a tribe of people who lived over here to just mess up Poland. In return, they get protection forever. They gave them boats. They sent them here and told them where Poland was. The tribe itself probably conquered. They conquered all of this. To reach down here. Eventually, this led to Poland being easily conquered. And now Poland was theirs. Because remember, the tribe, they wanted money, and they got money. Something and formed an alliance. I told everyone else about the alliance too, so a great protection. They called it the Arc Plan. I have a limit of shapes I can do. Is to form a wall against and almost every nation signed up. They all agreed to send their troops to the border in case. Denmark also joined because they saw free land opportunities. This country joined. So did this country. So did Egypt. Judah. Mesopotamia. Oman. That's how far it went, because every nation was scared of being conquered. Now, Now the problem is if you send someone from, let's say, Oman and send them to Estonia, it's gonna get pretty cold, so they have strategically planned where they go. This area, I don't know how warm it is. Now the king of Liechtenstein died this day, so there was really, but he stabilized it all. He got hundreds of thousands of troops, and he even bought the governments of many Greek city-states. His son united the Greek city-states because he bought their governments, which was something that was popular at the time. You were allowed to buy government. Of course, uniting these Greek city-states wasn't inevitable at all, according to many Greeks. So now just uniting it with money, that felt wrong. But too late, they already have a puppet. They also managed to buy the government in the many cities in Denmark, the entire main peninsula, which was an act of war. So, I'm in a surprise. I've led to a war of Danish cities. And the war of the Danish cities was the most important war ever fought. Not in Danish history. They somehow won so many battles. Until everything else happened. The government of Balkans was so unpopular that every single city declared independence. And some of them even joined Liechtenstein just to get out of this. I wonder if this city even joined Greece. And when this happens, you get a bunch of free soldiers. He also annexed these. And soon, at this point, there's just no over time. Was the most important and after this, before you just very much troops there to defend and looking somewhere else. They managed to capture all of these cities, capture Rome itself, and they sent the king off to the king of here, all the way off to France and told him to form his own kingdom in France as a puppet state of Liechtenstein. Basically, no king. And he sent the entire royal family there too, so it was just raps. It was just raps for basically they were so lucky that basically the Liechtensteins were so lucky about that. Nobody liked him. So they annexed Italy, forming their empire. The European Empire, somewhat born. These two just surrendered. Italy surrendered to Greece. And Mesopotamia, they arrived. Russia's arrived. Turk had no point of. These kingdoms arrived because simply it was too much. They had to actually prepare for Carthage. So they just took these few islands, declared Italy a puppet state, and called it a day. Italy managed to actually conquer Sicily, and even these lands. Conquered this, and after that they were done. The European Empire the Empire of Liechtenstein was done. The Liechtensteinians have conquered the world. To them. And while over here, this area becomes a lot of new civilizations from here that descend from the first people here. A kingdom in Florida invents writing. This kingdom over here also invents writing. And there have been so many kings formed. The empire had here was really a confederation. The Mexican Confederation was the empire, some would say, and all of them descend from Cape Verde. Oh no, that's the Canaries. And even some people start moving in this direction because they can. But obviously many people die that way, and of course no one really cares. So it just becomes forgotten, but people who do it, they're stranded. So civilization will also form there too.